$1.4 in total values on Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
Good morning, America. This morning, the flooding emergency. Harvey hitting Houston with epic rain, more than 7 inches an hour.
This is going to be life-threatening and catastrophic.
The city inundated as we get the first look at communities devastated by this killer storm.
Homes destroyed, trailers tossed like toys, roofs ripped apart, hundreds of rescues, and down power lines sparking fires.
That is a big fire. It is huge.
The new threats this morning from rising floodwaters in this unfolding catastrophe.
Also this morning, the presidential pardon, new fallout from Donald Trump's controversial decision to pardon Sheriff Joe Arpaio, the timing of his move, and what Trump reportedly asked his attorney general to do about the sheriff's criminal charges.
And TKO, boxing champ Floyd Mayweather victorious against UFC fighter Conor McGregor in the fight of the century.
Victorious one still standing! And that's it.
The star-studded crowd watching the 10-round drama unfold and Mayweather's promise about his future, as he says.
Good morning, America.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Yes, I guess so. Hey, good morning, everyone. Let's get straight to the breaking news. Harvey provoking an unfolding flooding disaster in America's 4th largest city, Houston, Texas.
This is all happening right now as we come on the air, and the situation is unfortunately dire. People trapped in their flooded out homes. They are fleeing to their attics, taking to social media, begging for a rescue.
And there's a diabolical complication here. While these folks have no choice but to hit the attic, there are reports of tornadoes touching down all over the Houston area, which could make the attic a dangerous place to be.
And making matters even worse, this storm Harvey likely to stick around for days upon days, dumping more and more rain, exacerbating the flooding that's already happening and hampering officials from getting out to make those rescues. Take a look at the images just coming in. This is an entire highway that is underwater.
Meanwhile, this morning, we're getting a clearer sense of the catastrophic damage inflicted by Harvey when it came ashore as a ferocious Category 4 hurricane. We have team coverage this morning, and we're going to start here with ABC News senior meteorologist Rob Marciano, who's on the ground in Port Lavaca, Texas. Rob, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. Hello, Amy. Our worst fears with Harvey are now unfolding. The second punch of the 1-2 punch now hitting East Texas and Houston, getting the brunt of it. You obviously see the storm surge and the wind damage from what happened yesterday, but now already we have had 20-plus inches of rain falling in the Houston area and a life-threatening situation unfolding with all those rescues, over 1,000 so far, in the middle of the night. Again, frightening situation happening in the darkness. I can only imagine what those poor people and first responders are having to go through. All right, here's what's going on with the radar. The center of this thing is just to the west of us, but it's everything now to the east and north is where the worst situation is as far as the heavy rain. You see it streaming off the Gulf of Mexico, multiple bands, and just thick rainfall, with rainfall rates, as mentioned, 6-7 inches an hour at times, 2 feet in 24 hours in some spots, and that's going to continue today and through tonight as well, basically ongoing right through tomorrow morning, we think. So another 12 inches potentially on top of the 20 that has fallen just within the last 12 to 24 hours. The waters are rising across the Houston metropolitan area. It is a life-threatening flash flood emergency that's unfolding as we speak. Let's get right now live to Victor Akindo, who is live on the scene.
Good morning, Rob. Houston has just been getting pounded all night and into the morning. We're sitting right next to an exit ramp right off the highway, where down this way, right behind me, more than 20 feet of rain has already accumulated, and one officer that we spoke with says he's never seen anything like this. Overnight, the situation in Houston getting dire. Some of the youngest victims of the floodwaters rescued by boat. Torrential rains battering America's 4th largest city. Reports of people trapped inside their homes. A local police chief live streaming throughout the night.
Hey, is anybody up there that wants to go? You guys okay?
Officials rescuing more than 1,000 residents.
Any kids? 2 kids, all right. You got the baby?
But unable to get to everyone.
Breaks your heart for our city and our state.
Some residents wading through waist-high waters, doing everything they can to get to safety. More than 20 inches of rainfall already in some areas.
Let me tell you, it is dropping a lot of water, and the streets are treacherous.
Cars submerged. Officials telling people to stay inside and off the roads.
It makes absolutely no sense for anyone to be out on the road unless it's an emergency.
More than 7 inches of rain falling per hour. Houston, home to more than 2 million people, now facing historic flooding.
There is the potential for very dramatic flooding.
The area could get another foot of rain by the end of the day. Just to put this in perspective for you, take a look at what's happening right behind me, where whitewater rapids are now forming right here on the street. We've seen barrels just flowing down here, a lot of emergency vehicles on the street as well. Not safe out here. Houston is underwater this morning. Dan?
Victor, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and I mean, just to know that there's another foot that will be dropping over the next day is really hard to imagine, because rescue officials in Houston have been besieged, as you might imagine, by so many emergency calls, people needing help immediately.
It's a perilous situation, and it's getting worse. The police chief there, Art Acevedo, has actually been sharing his rescues on Periscope. We saw some of that in Victor's piece. Shortly before we came on the air, I actually spoke with the chief on the phone. Chief, we've been watching your rescues play out on Periscope. Tell us, how bad are things out there?
This is, from my perspective of my team, this is at least a 500-year event. We've never experienced this kind of widespread challenges in terms of flooding. Our bayous are all out of the bank, just about all of them. If they're not, they will be soon. We have more water coming. We've conducted probably close to fast approaching 1,000 rescues, with many more people needing rescue. So it's, I say it's pretty catastrophic. We knew it was going to be bad. But the problem is the entire state's been underwater. So this is going to go on for days for us.
You've got calls coming in from the elderly, from the ill, from parents with young children. How do you prioritize?
Well, we got it. You just have to ask the questions first. The 911 system is pretty much overwhelmed. We've got people that are calling just because they have water, an inch of water or a foot of water. That is not a life-threatening emergency. We have people hiding in the attics right now, so we just hope that you all get the word out that folks do not call unless it's a true life and death situation. So we just prioritize them based on the information we can glean from the caller and from the situational awareness and intelligence we have from our men and women on the ground, not just from the police department, but from the fire department, and then we take it from there.
I understand you're fully mobilized, but all of this is playing out, as you well know, in the middle of an active storm. How much are the weather conditions right now hampering your ability to operate?
Well, our folks have been out there in the heavy rain, in waist-deep water, rescuing people. But the problem that we're having is that it is so widespread that even with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of police officers and firefighters out, when you have a 500-year event, which what we're looking at, some of these reservoirs and these bayous, they are at 500-year levels of flooding. It's just overwhelming. But you know what? We'll get through it. We're Houston. We're Texas. We're tough. We're Americans. And before this is all said and done, we'll show our resiliency as a community, as a state, and as a nation.
I have to ask you, though, the governor called for the city of Houston to be evacuated. The mayor said no. Should the city have been evacuated?
You know what? Listen, our focus is on saving lives. Our focus is on looking at making sure that we're focused what's in front of us. There's plenty of time later on to second guess. But the issue is this. This is not just happening in terms of this rain event, this storm event. It wasn't just in Houston. We've had reports of flooding and challenges in other parts of the state, including Austin, which is a place where we evacuate people. They're expecting their own flooding, their own issues. So I don't think that anybody actually saw that this was going to be to this extent. But at the end of the day, years ago, when they called for an evacuation, we lost, 200, close to 200 lives, if not more, during the evacuation. I don't remember I wasn't here, which hurricane it was, but it caused a lot of problems. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. But when Mother Nature decides to be as vicious as she's been in the state of Texas, and she has been for the last couple of days, and has more to come, we make our decisions based on what we know at the time when we make them, and there was really no need at that time to order the evacuation from the perspective of a lot of people, including the governor, once we had conversations in the state.
Chief Art Acevedo, I know you've got a horrible situation on your hands right now, and we all here wish you nothing but the best. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Hang in there.
Well, we certainly hope that they can hang in there, too, because this is an unfolding situation. And we want to take a look now at just how fast, how quickly those rivers are rising in Texas. So to do that, let's bring in meteorologist Kate Parker. Kate, what are you looking at?
Amy, this is a problem because we have training rain bands. And what that means is that, like train cars on a train track, this rain is coming in out of the very warm, moist Gulf of Mexico and going right over these areas. So you'll notice we still have that tropical storm warning because we still have a tropical storm. In addition to that, you'll notice the tornado watch right through Houston. So not only are you flooding, but then you also have the tornado risk on top of that. A number of tornado warnings being issued overnight. Look at this. This is Buffalo Bayou. This is the record. You'll notice the record here at 68.4 feet. We are just shy of the record crest for this river right now, and we're going to see that continue to rise. Look at the forecast rise for Cypress Creek, also expected to go over record. We're not just in major flood stage here. This is going and breaking records, and this is with current rainfall forecasts, not the rain that's still to come. You'll notice Clear Creek also already over the record. So we've already broken the record for that one. If you live near any stream, creek, or bayou, you are looking at an extreme risk to your life, your property, and everything at this point. You guys, this is a major system. It's not going to be letting up for days on end. That's why we're so concerned here. Again, those river forecasts, you guys, they were for the current rainfall, not the rainfall that's still to come.
It's amazing when, meteorologists are usually so measured. When you see meteorologists clearly that worried.
Real concern.
Absolutely cause for real concern. Kate, thank you very much. For more on this breaking story, let's bring in ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos, who's going to be hosting This Week later this morning. George, good morning. So this is the first major natural disaster on President Trump's watch. How serious a political test is this for him?
I'm not sure it's too much of a political test, but he's following the textbook right now for what presidents are supposed to do in a situation like this. He's getting his briefings from FEMA. He's authorized the FEMA director to do whatever it takes to address the problem down there. There are going to be some big questions going forward. The White House has suggested the president is going to visit there this week. Is that really the best idea, or will that divert attention away from the rescue and recovery efforts? That's one of the questions they're going to have to deal with. And down the line, there might be a request for some real major federal funding for Texas and maybe Louisiana after this. That could become a political problem down the road.
All right, well, speaking of diversion, as Harvey was making landfall on Friday night, we know the White House unveiled that series of controversial decisions, including the presidential pardon for Sheriff Joe Arpaio. Paul Ryan has already come out against it. Is that a political problem for the president?
It is going to end up being a significant issue right now. The president's first pardon, he chose to pardon a man who had defied a federal judge's order to stop illegally profiling Latinos in this country. Not only the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, Republican, but also the two Republican senators from Arizona have stood up against the president as well. And one of the big concerns here is, and you've seen this raised by some Democrats, not Republicans yet, is that perhaps what the president was doing here was sending a message to those who might get caught up in the Robert Mueller investigation. Don't worry, I have your back. And that's a big question that a lot of people are raising right now. But, Sheriff Arpaio, an incredibly controversial figure across the country, faced widespread criticism for the way he was dealing with prisoners in the state of Arizona. Yet the president called him a patriot who kept Arizona safe. That issue's not going away.
And there was this article in the Washington Post overnight that says the president actually, while Arpaio was facing criminal charges by the president's own Justice Department, the president went to the Attorney General and asked whether these charges could be dropped.
Backed off, knowing he could do the pardon, which is a full pardon power under the Constitution. But this really is unprecedented. Usually presidents wait until late in their term to do pardons. This is only 7.
And after sentencing.
And after sentencing, after a sign of remorse, after going through the Department of Justice procedures. None of that happened right here. Controversial move by the president. The question a lot of people have is, does he understand the line between the president and the Justice Department and the tradition against getting involved or politicizing individual cases? In this case, he did it.
George Stephanopoulos, thank you. And a reminder, George has a big show this morning. He's going to be covering the Arpaio decision as well as the breaking news out of Texas. He'll go one-on-one with Texas Governor Greg Abbott and White House Homeland Security Advisor Tom Bossert. That's later this morning on This Week, right here on ABC.
All right, let's go straight back out now to Rob Marciano, who is in Port Lavaca, Texas, with the very latest from there. Rob, good morning.
Good morning, Amy. Dry for now here. Most of the action is just east of the center of where Tropical Storm Harvey is, and that would put the Houston area obviously right in the thick of the rainfall. Let's get right to the rain and where the heaviest bands are setting up. You heard Kate talking about the training effect, and when they come off the Gulf of Mexico, this is deep tropical moisture with high rain rates, precipitable water that can at sometimes be off the charts. The heaviest rain right now is just east of Houston proper, but these bands will continue to spiral in, so we expect more in the way of rain today. And then now let's look at the track of this thing, what we expected to do, and there is some uncertainty here, but even though the circulation and the winds are going to weaken, we'll still be drawing moisture in off the Gulf of Mexico. So later today, drifts closer to where we are here in Port Lavaca, and then by tomorrow morning, just off the coast, maybe Tuesday, still lingering there, and then maybe drifting Wednesday, Thursday through Houston, and bringing the circulation and heavy rain with it. We've got locally maybe another 2 feet on top of what they've already had, and that certainly is catastrophic beyond what we even have now. So that this entire area of southeast Texas is under a flash flood watch, really, until further notice. That's what's happening nationally, headlines-wise, weather-wise. It's time now for a look at your local forecast. Check it out.
I'm ABC 7's Steve Rudin. Lots of sunshine as we move through our Sunday. Highs will be around 80 degrees today. Winds out of the east at around 5 to 10. Here's a look at your 10-day outlook from Stormwatch 7. Temperatures in the middle 70s Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Better chance for a few showers. We'll see temperatures that will hold in the lower 80s by Thursday and Friday. And moving into Labor Day weekend, it's going to be dry around here, at least for the most part. Highs around 80 degrees. Nighttime lows in the 60s.
Sadly, Hurricane Harvey has lived up to the hype on all counts, on the wind, on the storm surge, and now what's happening, guys, up there in Houston, just to our east. And we'll be heading there after the show. Unfolding situation that's going to last, unfortunately, for days.
All right, Rob,
Amy,
thanks
Dan?
so much. Yeah, and speaking of that unfolding situation, we talked about how the 911 system there in Houston is overwhelmed, people needing to be rescued. Well, on the phone with us right now is one of those people. Haley Isbell, a storm victim. She is in her garage with rising floodwaters. And Haley, I know you're in there with a few other people. Tell me what your situation is right now.
Right now, we're just in the garage. We're in about waist deep water. Our whole entire house is flooded up to our waist. Everything is floating. Everything is ruined. Both of our cars have waters up to, the headrest of them. We have our dogs with us, and they're in the truck. The battery died. We had the air running. We're stuck. My uncle, we have him with us, and he's disabled. It's a wreck. It's a mess.
And have you called for help, and what kind of response have you gotten?
We called about 3.5 hours ago, and they told us 1.5 hours to 2 hours we would get some help, and it's clearly been, quite a bit over that. And since then, we've called back-to-back quite a few times, and it's just ringing, and no one is answering.
So, Haley, I can't even imagine how that feels. You're stuck in your garage. You have nowhere to go. You have people you're taking care of who aren't able to be as mobile as maybe someone could to get out there and try to get help. Are the waters rising? Tell me what you're feeling, what you're thinking right now.
Yeah, it's really scary. I mean, it worries every one of us that are here right now. It really worries us. I mean, it's probably rose at least. I would say it's gone from at least maybe 2 feet within a couple of hours, if not more. It was down to our knees, and it's up to our waist, and it's only been a couple of hours.
And do you have any higher floors that you can go to in the house?
We don't. We do not.
And what about neighbors?
All of the neighbors are flooded completely like us.
Haley, do you have a plan B right now? I mean, and I'm sure you've heard that the 911 system is overwhelmed, that they are doing rescues as quickly as they can, but there's no telling how long it will take for them to get to you. Do you have a plan B?
Right now, no, we don't. We're trying to think about the attic, but getting up there with the dogs is really, really difficult. My uncle is disabled, and others, it's really difficult. We we don't really have much of an option right now.
Haley, do you think, in hindsight, that people should have been told to evacuate?